Hello everyone, welcome to the comics live stream. And today we're seeing Winter Secrets again, my comic. And this is page 11. God, I'm going slow right now, but happens. I have exciting news. I think I came to stream going one more week. But then after that, I'm moving to the UK, so I wonder how I'm gonna move it. I can still make the schedule work, I think. But I'll double check. I haven't actually thought of it much yet because there's so much going on besides that. Getting visas, packing, deciding what things I take, because not everything fits in my bag, sadly. And there's an amount of strength I need to have to take more than one bag, so I'm having already, all of my life to move to another country in a carry-on, a backpack, and a checked bag. And because I'm bringing stuff, because I'm gonna go back to YouTube, that's occupying a lot of space. But it's super exciting. I'll be able to do a house, an apartment tour, without showing windows, of course. How have you been? Something super interesting, maybe I already mentioned last week, is that because in my comic, this girl, Elena, the one I'm drawing right now, or adding details, she knows how to survive in the wild, like she feeds herself. So she hunts and fishes too, blah, blah, blah. I've been trying to learn a little bit about those topics, even though I haven't done them. So something fun is I've been watching this reality show called Alone. I started with season 11, watching with my partner, and I was seeing, a little bit more detail. At the same time, just having fun. It's not like super deep research, but I am indeed interested in, hey, how do you, no matter how much you love animals, I mean, when you hunt them, they don't look that pretty. If the arrow pierced their eyes or something, it's Hello, Agiso. How are you? How have you been doing? So if I move to the UK, like I am, it seems my time zone will be the same as London. So maybe I could still do the stream and it would be just 7 p.m. for me. But on a Sunday, I think that could maybe work. I think it's more a matter of seeing if it fits the lifestyle. Which it could be. I mean, it's Sunday. But it also feels like that's time it could be with my husband. I don't know. Gonna see. Could be an alone time designated to do comics. So can I start thinking about those things? But when the time comes, honestly, I'm a little bit overwhelmed, and this is supposed to be light. Just keep going. Just doing details on the comic right now. I'm deciding what my schedule will be. But I guess I won't know some things until I get there. Also, I'll have to, me and my partner, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have to see about getting everything, like pants, getting settled in a new country. It's It's gonna be fun. Yeah, going back to wildlife stuff. I guess not everybody is interested in this, but I thought it was fascinating. I mean, I'm not into fishing because I have never done it, but I do like seeing people do it in an edited way. Not I'm not there watching for hours, but it's kind of exciting. And every time I see them hold the fish over the water, and sometimes they lose it because the fish goes back in the water because it's fucking fighting for his life. Sometimes it hurts though, because you can see that the animal is in pain, and I'm like, no. But how would you eat in the wild? There was this woman trying to survive by eating just berries and stuff. Not because she was a vegan or anything, even though it was more like she couldn't hunt successfully. And then at one point she was done. And it's like, yes, that happens. Unless you're in a community. I really wish one day we can indeed eat delicious meat done in a lab or something instead of torturing animals, but until that day, I'm still eating meat. Sorry. But yeah, I guess that's one of my main takeaways. It was nature can be cruel, and trying to survive in the wild, especially when it's cold as fuck, you do need fats and quick, effective, efficient food. And it's not like it's easy to hunt either. But I learned a lot. I feel like I learned a lot, which is going to be very relevant. I even remember I did an early version of this comic where Elena captures a rabbit. And I was going to research how to skin it because I was like, okay, I'm not going to show a lot, but that's her life. And I should, as the author, I should know what my character knows a little, or else I cannot portray it. It's like, okay, and the main thing was that she was able to be alone in the middle of the woods. The only way she can do it, taking into account that she's completely alone, and there's a lot of snow, so it's not like she can be growing vegetables during the winter. With also the amount of technology she has, which is not very much, given the time period I decided to set this story in. The options are limited, but I'm still learning. As I write and do this comic, I'm still like, even though it's already written, all of it, there are some details that have been changing as I do it, because it's like, okay, so if one of the main things or the first scenes I have in this comic is that she puts the chickens inside for now because frost is getting and the cold is seeping through wood in the chicken house, whatever you call it in English. And what she's gonna do is this combination of, okay, I need to search for English vocabulary for this, and I will do it later. But well, she's gonna do something to fill in the gaps, but for now, the chickens at her cabin. And she's protecting those chickens. She has eggs, thanks to them. Which I also need to look for more details on chickens. I already did a little bit of research for this, but I still have some questions. Like, I never thought I would have questions about chickens. I was like, whatever animal. But then you write a story where the survival of your character is in part thanks to those chickens. So now I find myself researching lifestyles that are not like mine at all. Me getting eggs just in a supermarket. Which I know it's very difficult, but now I have been making my partner buy the ones that supposedly take care of the chickens better. And I know it's unlikely, but I hope it's true. Hey, one can dream. Agisa says, sorry, I tuned out for a second. I saw a random groundhog. That's fun. I never see those animals. My week was okay, says Agiso. I paused production on the comic to do some sketching practice. Very nice. Yeah, a matter of balancing it. I have been thinking about that. Krakenhead says the hope egg tax. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay. There's no way she would be holding the shotgun like this. I'm gonna have to change it. Okay, let's just put an arrow and fix it later. Doesn't really make sense. I was thinking about how often do I do sketches that have nothing to do with my comic, because I always have like this sketching practice of 10 minutes before I do my comic, which I love. I've been practicing cats these days again, but I think I've got it, and I have been getting the design of the cat that's going to appear in this comic. Something I really want to do is to always have a cat in my comics. to find a way to have a character that's just a cat there. And then if I can do that, something very cute is I could have a cat in my logo that I'm still working on and off. So yeah, I'm excited about drawing cats as good as I can. But yeah, well, going back to, I've been a little too inspired by Instagram because I have deleted all other social media apps, or the most distracting ones to me, at least. So I have been wanting to do sketches that have nothing to do with my comic, also because I feel like I could end up, I want to create anticipation for the comic, so maybe if I share too much when I finally start sharing, it's like, okay, why would they read it on the comic side if I share everything on Instagram? Like, they basically get spoilers of what's going on without reading it. So I've been thinking about doing sketches that have nothing to do with the comic, but then I'm worried that it takes away from the comic. So, because I have a limited amount of energy. So I've been thinking, how do I do it? Like, do I do something like a every 2 weeks schedule to keep comic production still as number one? What do you think? And I have so many ideas because, again, I have never managed to, like, most of the time, if you tell me, hey, just draw illustrations without a story, I get bored very fast. Like, look at this pretty girl, and that's it. That's very boring to me. So if I did this, I want to express, ideas or have little comic extracts. If I do fan art, which is never my inclination most of the time, I want to highlight something that I find interesting. And I think that could work very well because, text plus drawings definitely makes people pay more attention. It's the very same way that many YouTube channels have subtitles, just so people follow better the ideas. And I myself love it. A vlog that has sometimes no voice, you're just reading. It's very relaxing, especially if they manage to keep it interesting, because there are some that make you fall asleep, which is wonderful too. It's wonderful. Those naps are glorious too. I don't know if that's the main goal, unless, the YouTube channel is designed to be aesthetically pleasing and relaxing, which there are some. They're so pretty. So I feel like I could be like some underrated character that nobody talks about in this popular movies that, everybody knows about, and I make people realize about, or we talk about something interesting in terms of history that appears in a movie. I don't know, those kinds of things where it's like, oh, I'm not just drawing a Disney character, for example, like, oh yeah, there's a pretty princess, blah, that's it. No, I'm like, oh, let's reflect, because I think it's just interesting on this historical aspect of their time. Like, for example, something I'm not gonna spoil some of the ideas I'm not gonna spoil some of the ideas that I already have for social media. But one thing, I'm not gonna draw this, by the way, so but I really find interesting how ignorant I'm also very ignorant, so but sometimes people watch Cinderella, which is one of the most boring princesses, I do accept. But they're like, why doesn't she just go outside? Why doesn't she just leave? She has a pretty good situation. It sucks, but at the same time, she still has food. Like, if she leaves, what is she gonna do? Work as a maid for another house? Period. Could they treat her better? Maybe. It's not like women had bank accounts back then. And her seeming poor, even though the dad had money, doesn't protect her at all. So I feel like sometimes people are like, why isn't she more of a feminist or something? And it's like, dude, do you know what time period she was in? Do you know the options she had? What the hell? I'm just astounded sometimes. And I just think aspects like that are interesting. Because again, we go back in history and we realize, hey, we have options now in some parts of the world. Some. And I think that's fun to just think about it a little bit more than just, yeah. I guess so. I think a part of why I'm doing some sketch practice is to refine my process, so I don't have to worry as much if I'm taken away from my comic by stopping to do illustrations. Well, yeah, for sure. It's also gonna upgrade the quality of your comic and your art. Because if you only did your comic, I do think we can get stagnant because we're drawing the same thing sometimes over and over. Not the same. it depends on the scope of your comic. But for example, here I'm drawing chickens and girls and girls and chickens and girls and chickens and girls and chickens and a cat. And then it's like, okay, when am I drawing men? When am I drawing different perspectives that are more modern instead of this little cabin that I already have a 3D model of? So yeah, I think that's very smart. To keep a sketchbook practice, I think it's vital to keep improving. You know, going back to the Disney example, I find fun to know where things come from. Like, I have read many of the books Disney has made the stories from, because I love both. It's so interesting to be like, so these are the changes. Like Bambi, or I was talking about this with a friend because she does read books that are similar to the ones I read. When we were little, we read a little bit more of those types of stories. Or the Jungle Book, I think it's a good one. I do want to reread that one. I haven't done it in a very long while. I think Kipling had a cute style. I mean, from what I remember, because again, I was little, way younger. Actually, my mom read us the short stories that Kipling wrote, some of them. And it's very interesting because it all comes, okay, but we're not talking about that, right? But it's just interesting, the real life events that inspire stories sometimes, because I remember, well, not very well, but my friend was saying how around the time of the Jungle Book, for sure, I think, so not for sure, but there was this kid that they found in the wild, I think, and he had managed to survive. But he was essentially a wild animal. And I think there was this scientist that was trying to make him a civilized member of society, and he stumbled against a wall. So we love the idea of the Jungle Book, right? Like, this kid is raised by wolves and he manages, but then at the end he goes back to live with humankind, because humans should be with humans. Community is very important. But somehow he adapts. He's able to communicate and presumably grow up and be happy. So you have Tarzan was raised by, well, in the movie, by apes. I don't remember in the book. I just remember Kerchak was an enemy, not a substitute dad. Kerchak actually killed his parents, so I really... No, Kalados raised him. The gorilla. So, of course, in books, you can have these romantic versions of, yes, sure, the animals raise these little kids as their own, and the little kids are able to join society somehow years later, which Tarzan does take it to the absurd. He's essentially a superhero demigod, honestly, because not only does he join society, he ends up speaking like 3 languages or more, and it's like, yeah, sure, I can't believe that. And he's a perfect gentleman too, with manners. There's no way, I'm sorry. But in real life, this scientist or whatever he was, I need to search for the case. If this was a YouTube video, I would have already done this. But because it's a live stream, I'm just thinking about it without Googling it right now. Akiso says, sometimes we also get locked into one part of the process for a long time. Yes. Flowing from one part of the process to the next starts to feel like climbing up and down a row of hills. Yeah, I agree. Say that you feel a sketchbook is also like a break. Yeah, I feel like a comic is so long. It's a little hard sometimes. Because you don't see an end in sight. So having little bursts could work. The same way you can see a school year, maybe. Like, okay, every 3 quarters we celebrate and take a break or something like that. Depends on the school system, of course, but not see it like, oh, I cannot take a break until the comic is done. Because that can take years. Hopefully this comic only takes me 1 year more. That's honestly my hope. I honestly should try. Maybe. I'll see if my schedule allows it. Because again, this is supposed to be a short comic, as I always say. Let's see if I eat my words. But I'm very happy. I was trying to decide what type of cat I was gonna get into this comic, and it makes sense. This girl comes from a rich family, so a fluffy fat cat could make sense. And he's gonna have to lose weight because, I mean, he's gonna starve a little. Again, you're winter, middle of nowhere. She's gonna starve a little bit too. But not too much. That's not how they will die. Okay? I'm not saying they will die this way, but so I'm really hoping that now that I move to the UK, I'm gonna move to a place that's sea level, and it's also probably near to the sea. So I hope I can breathe better and have more energy, because that's a problem I actually face for certain circumstances here in Mexico City. It's also because it's contaminated as much as fuck. And it's also because we're like we're in a valley, and above sea level by a lot. So I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I hope it's true. I really, really would like to have more energy. Like, I always sleep well, or the amount of hours that are decent. I have a consistent sleep schedule. I work out. And sometimes my nose doesn't want to cooperate, and I'm still very tired. And I suspect it's because I cannot breathe correctly. Which, again, I'm gonna look into it. But in the meanwhile, it would be very nice if I could breathe better where I'm going. Which is a possibility. Well, thank you so much for showing up. I really have to do some stuff, but thank you for showing up to the comics live stream. Good luck with your own projects, and feel free to share them if you want. we can also share them here. And I'll try to see what the next schedule will be, or if we can have one last live stream in the usual schedule, which I think we can. But yeah, take care. Bye.